Not that I need to start over or that what I have already created is not good, because it is. But there's even more possible. Who was it that said good is the enemy of great? You're listening to The Creative Impostor, episode number 35. Welcome to The Creative Impostor. I'm Andrea Klunder, and this week I feel like I've been traveling between a dreamlike state and being purely awake rather fluidly, regardless of whether it's daytime or night. And this is probably because, as you may or may not know, I am in the midst of launching and promoting a brand new program to help you create your own podcast called Podcast Envy. And creating something new to put out into the big, scary world is a process by which you are really forced to reconcile your own imposter-y feelings by deeply trusting your intuition to guide you. So, when you have both the voice of your creative imposter and the voice of your deepest intuition clamoring for attention in your brain, how on earth do you know who is saying what and who to listen to? Well, you need mad tools, skills, and support. If you've been listening or following the Creative Impostor Facebook group or coming to my yoga and meditation classes at Satnam Yoga in Chicago, you know that I have probably a lifetime's worth of said tools in my kit and am always learning more and honing my skills. These tools include and are definitely not limited to yoga, meditation in a variety of forms, Yoga Nidra, a creative visualization practice I talk about at length in episode 13, Vision Collage, episode 18, musical mantra and bhakti practice, which I explore with Ellen Katz in episode 10, essential oils, which I sprinkle into my classes, and most recently, thanks to Charlotte Alea in the last episode 34, tarot and oracle cards. I am nowhere near being able to do complete in-depth readings the way Charlotte does. I'm just learning. But I can tell you that this tool has been incredibly powerful for me. And even in my yoga classes, I've had students draw cards at the beginning, then tune in with essential oil aromatherapy and move through the yoga and mantra practice, only to walk away 60 minutes later with incredibly deep insights I could never have predicted. So this week, I've been consulting the Fountain Tarot and Sacred Symbols Oracle decks a lot on the direction of the Podcast Envy program, and really, even on a deeper level, my overall mission of and vision for my work, life, business, design. And I have been frustrated. In my classes and lunch and learns and discovery calls with aspiring new podcasters, everyone wants to talk about technology, gear, which microphone is the best, which software to use. And yes, you need to know these things. But if this is what you're spending our time together asking, you're missing the point. Because podcasting is ultimately about telling a story. Your interview guest story, a fictional story. It's about reaching out and connecting to someone out there, listening to what you've created and sharing this intimate moment through time and space. The tech is just a tool to transmit the value, and any tech will get you there. Of course, I have opinions about what type of microphone to use or not use, but they are just my opinion. I started with a microphone that I happen to have for other reasons, and that's how I chose it, and it turns out it has served me well, even though almost no one recommends it when you Google best podcasting microphones, or listen to online courses, or ask in podcasting Facebook groups. But the microphone that is most often recommended, I think, is actually only okay. But ultimately, they both work. And what's more important is how you use it and what you're saying. And this is probably my fault because I haven't effectively communicated the true value, the true message of what I'm offering, and of what you have the potential to create. It hasn't been clear and that's why everyone's asking about tech. How do I know that's what's been happening? The cards have been telling me. In my morning readings for myself, I've been asking where I am in the process, what my relationship is to my potential clients, whether I'm doing the right thing, how I can best support my community, and how I can best take care of myself in the process. And my readings have shown that though success is possible and there is real value available through a conscious balance of giving and receiving, I'm a little off track and have more work to do to course correct. I need to dig deeper. Not that I need to start over or that what I have already created is not good, because it is. But there's even more possible. Who was it that said good is the enemy of great? So there has been a lot of soul searching about my creative zone of genius, what a pretentious term, what I do best, and how I can best help people on their journey. And this morning, the question that arose was, what do I love most about what I do? Do I love editing podcasts? Sometimes. Do I love teaching people how to set up their microphone? Sometimes. Do I love making my own podcast? Sometimes. But the value only comes to me when it makes a real difference for someone. Not the, hey, I learned this cool thing difference, but like an Instagram post from a friend, former colleague, and listener after episode 31, Your Shadow and Mine. The post said, Andrea Klunder knocked this one out of the park. Creatives and podcast lovers, listen today, with a heart and applause. And a local member of the Chicago Women's Creative Collective who recently gave me and the group a shout out for helping her feel welcome, like she belonged, and giving her a sense of immediate creative community despite her social anxiety when she first moved to Chicago. And a podcasting colleague to whom I have offered a little bit of production advice and for whose show I've been interviewed, which has not even launched yet, who emailed me the following, Andrea, you are a real example of an empowered sister, and your passion is contagious. The fact that you believe in me and my vision before I even have a platform beneath me is something I will always remember. These are the reasons I do what I do. They are the only outcomes that matter to me. And so I've been selling myself and my program short. I think maybe I should rename it. Instead of Podcast Envy, how about it's not about the microphone, podcasting for genuine storytellers, personal growth, and finding your creative purpose, or something like that. So back to the question of whether it's my imposter voice telling me that what I have is not good enough, or my intuition telling me that what I have is only the start. I know because when I hear the message I'm getting, through the imagery of the cards that come up, through the moments of quiet meditation, through the phrases that pop into my head when I'm in the midst of cleaning my apartment, and the conversations I'm having with my mentors, partners, clients, and colleagues, I feel a sensation in my gut that is calling me to expand, to get bigger, to be better, rather than wanting to shrink, hide, or give up. The imposter voice wants to protect you by keeping you small and safe, and never trying anything new. The intuitive voice wants to help you by elevating your platform to rise to the occasion. It may be risky, but it's probably worth it. Hey, do you want some creative tools for connecting more deeply with your own intuition? Charlotte Alea, my tarot muse from episode 34, and I created a special package exclusively for the Creative Impostor community. In the show notes for this episode, thecreativeimpostor.com/035, you can find a secret link to get her daily tarot self-discovery course, your very own tarot deck in the mail, and a 30-minute intuitive session with Charlotte for just $99. She says it's a $140 value. I say it's priceless. When you sign up, you'll be directly supporting the Creative Impostor as well. So it's a win-win-win. Also, Isabel Rizzo from episode 26 about crafting your story currently has a few spots left in her mastermind for visionary leaders. It's how Charlotte and I met, and it's called the Singularity Circle. You can link from the show notes, and if you decide to join, tell her I sent you, and you will also be supporting my show. And a third way you can support The Creative Impostor is by becoming an official patron of the show, for which I will send you many good things, like exclusive access to an unlisted bonus podcast for your ears only, featuring my favorite tools and techniques to nurture and sustain your creative expression. You can find out all about this on Patreon at thecreativeimpostor.com/support. Right now, in the Creative Impostor Facebook group, we are trying something new, and that is a series of Facebook Live interviews with visionaries from our international creative community, like Isabel and Charlotte, among others. Join the Facebook group and click the Events tab to see upcoming opportunities to join live. And there's just one more thing I want to invite you to check out, which is the Podcast Envy Launchpad program that I have been ranting about this whole episode. If you have been dreaming of starting your own podcast and you're listening to The Creative Impostor, I'm willing to bet that you have a story to tell. Something deep inside you that you are so passionate about, you just have to find a way to get it out there. And podcasting just might be that way. The Launchpad begins May 15th, and over the course of 5 weeks, you will get everything you need to get started. So visit podcastenvy.com, take a peek at what's in store for you, and then schedule a 20-minute tea break with me, and we'll hop on the phone or video chat to see if your story is a good fit for the Launchpad program. This episode was mixed by Edwin Ruiz of Mondo Machine. Our theme music is by Jovia Armstrong. I thank you so much for listening, and I wish you a week filled with all of the things that matter most.